Hey, welcome back to Local Static. I'm Peyton Kavanaugh, and today I'm joined by News 10 photographer Georgia and News 10 reporter Amber Fisher. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Glad you're joining us again. As you could probably imagine, today we are wrapping up our coverage of Cooperstown as promised. We had a blast at that festival. It was really great to be able to speak with so many different artists and just hear from different bands that I'd never listened to before. One of which we're going to hear from today, Pale Waves. We got the chance to sit down and interview them. And also we got to talk to some fans right after they had exclusive meet and greets with Louis Tomlinson. So some really exciting stuff in store. Thank you guys again for being here.
Of course.
So much fun. All the fun. So I guess we could kick it off with a little bit of a discussion about Pale Waves. I personally had not been a huge Pale Waves listener before this festival, but I can tell you they've been on repeat in my car ever since I got back. I am honestly slowly becoming a big fan. They'll probably be on my Spotify Wrapped, but I'm just wondering what everyone's favorite Pale Waves song is and why.
I like Glasgow a lot. Like the opening riff's such a good album opener off their latest album Smitten. And I also like Television Romance and There's a Honey. So those two are really good.
Yeah, for sure. Good choices. What about you, Amber?
I also didn't really know Pale Waves too much before the interview, but after getting to know them, I think She's My Religion is probably my current favorite. I think it's just a really raw song about giving voice to a queer love story that you don't really see often in the music industry.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the pillars of their artistry from, the interview and just kind of what I learned afterwards. I talked a lot about the importance of queer representation in art and media and just general life. So definitely really like that one. I wrote down my top two right now are There's a Honey and Red. I really like the vibes. I don't know. I think it's cool that their musicality kind of has a very vast range. They dip into different genres and influences, but definitely heavy Cranberries vibes. If you haven't heard Pale Waves, I'd say they very much remind me of the Cranberries. And their stage presence is just incredible. They're really captivating. They held on to that audience the entire time they were up there. I don't know, I really love the set. And enough teasing, here's the interview with Pale Waves from the Away From Home Festival in Cooperstown. I'm Peyton Kavanaugh here in Cooperstown at the Northway Brewing Hop House, joined now by Pale Waves.
Hi, my name's Charles and I play bass.
I'm Heather, I sing and play guitar. I would describe our sound as alternative pop. We take a lot of influence from the 90s era, Alanis Morissette, the Cranberries, The Cure, all the best acts.
Do you have anything to add in terms of just sounds, how you perceive it?
Yeah, exactly like that really. I think it was always from the start, it was the 80s, I guess, and yeah, those bands, that's who we were into.
It definitely has that nostalgic feel. We were just talking about your most recent album release. If you wanted to dive into that, I mean, it does have this nostalgic feel, very reminiscent, I guess. If you want to talk to me about the writing process on that, how you arrived at those themes.
I would say it took about a year to even begin to write Smitten. We went through so many different genres and so many different styles, and a lot of that was really exciting, but it just didn't feel quite right for the fourth album for Pale Waves. And then we wrote Seeing Stars, and then that kind of just made sense. And then from there on, we just kind of followed with everything else in the kind of Smitten world. We kind of took a lot of inspiration from our first album, and then kind of inspiration from all of them too, and just compiled them together. And it's very dark, romantic, synth pop with guitars, I would say.
Yeah, and then kind of taking inspiration from other, albums and tracks and things you've written before. Is there anything thematically that you think really resonates in most of your work, kind of translates into different genres even?
I would say when people think of Pale Waves, they think of queer music. And, that's a huge part of me. That is me. That's who I am. So I'm always open about that. And I think that it brings so many people together And that's why people love coming to a Pale Wave show. Like, we played New York on Thursday, and so many people came up to me and was like, thank you for creating this space where we can come and we can feel safe and we can feel like we can be ourselves.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice thing to see as well for us on stage, to see all these kids come in and from all different backgrounds and communities, and it's just like a good thing that we play this music and somehow that brings all these people together and they have a place to go.
I think it's more so important now than ever. There's a lot against us right now, there always has been, but it does feel like it even more, and it does feel heavier. And you can almost feel it and hear it from fans when we see them. They're so thankful that we've just even come here and we're just playing a show, because they're missing so much of that. And I mean, there's a lot of great pop artists, who are really talking about the queerness, like Billie Eilish, Renee Rapp, Chappell Roan, these huge pop stars, and there wasn't a lot of those even like 5 years ago, I feel like. So it's amazing to see.
Do you think that people respond to your music differently here versus like back home when you play shows?
I mean, the Americans just like to love things. Do you know what I mean? And it's cute.
It is cute.
It's sweet. Whereas I feel like the British, that we're a bit more miserable.
Everyone's too scared to be a fan of something. And
Yeah.
and you can tell that sometimes. Like, I mean, we love playing shows back
But we're
home
British
too.
ourselves, so,
Yeah. But I do notice a difference. And yeah, everyone's too scared to say, oh, I love this band or this artist or anything at all.
We like to hide our emotions, the
Back
Brits.
home, everyone's like, it's all right, but I really,
Yeah.
deep down, they
love
love
it.
them, and
We're not as open, whereas the Americans are like, oh my God, I love this, I love you. And I'm like, just keep it coming, just keep complimenting us.
Right, of course.
I like that. I prefer that, to be honest. Yeah.
When you come here, there's like 5 million fan projects. People are lining up out the doors for this festival, like
I know.
hours before. What has that been like?
I mean, Louis has some intense fans, doesn't he? And it's crazy to see and it's amazing to see. And I'm so happy that we get to play in front of them, and hopefully they like our music.
Yeah, absolutely. What's it been like collaborating with Louis as well? I mean, I'm sure many people would want to know what the experience has been like for your bands.
Well, I mean, he handpicked this festival, didn't he, of just music that he likes, and I never even knew that he knew of Pale Waves until this festival. So it was cool to see that he was a fan of the band.
Yeah, and I am also a fan of him and all of the other guys from One Direction. And
It's
like going back to
Charlie's-
that,
yeah.
I'm not afraid to say that because I'm a fan of things and I love One Direction.
Anytime Charlie's on karaoke, it's always One Direction.
Yeah.
Always. What's the go-to song? got a
Okay,
few.
yeah, I've got a few. Best Song Ever is up there. We actually had that on in the car yesterday.
Yeah, blasting
and
it.
I had the itch to find a karaoke bar and maybe later, who knows, you know what I mean?
You know, let us know. We'd love to get that footage.
Yeah.
Of course.
Or we could get him down too and me and Louis could just sing
You could
together.
live out your dream.
Yeah, right?
Perfect. Before you came to this festival and you're working with Louis, who was your favorite member, like growing up?
You that's cruel. I can't possibly say that. No, I didn't have a favourite. I'm not like
didn't?
that, no.
Kept in the vault.
Yeah, this is where I'm going to be secretive. I'm like, no, they're all right. I wasn't that much of a fan. Louis, obviously.
Louis.
Obviously. Let's go, Louis. Team Louis.
Yes, absolutely. That's my favorite.
Yeah?
I mean, it's everyone's favorite.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
So I guess thinking about like your journeys with music individually too, when was your first memory of realizing that you loved music and this was something that you might want to pursue, you might want to start writing your own?
Well, for me, my dad plays guitar just as a hobby. He loves music, and I grew up watching him at like 11 or at midnight, just drunk playing guitar, and I thought, oh, that's cool, that's fun. I want to play guitar with you and sing, so that's how I got into music, because he loves it, basically.
Yeah, it's a similar thing for me. My dad and my brother played guitar. And then when I was in high school, my friends made a band, and I always kind of felt like I wasn't allowed to be in it, or there was no room for me. And I thought they were the coolest, and I was like, I want to do that. So I did my own band.
So you made
Yeah.
something for you.
But yeah, that's the way it was.
Yeah. And so I guess origins of this band, could you walk me through, how you formed it, how you guys kind of came together and started?
Me and Kira met in university in Manchester, and we kind of like started the foundation of that. And then a few months later, Charlie and Hugo just joined, and it kind of just made sense. And it's been us four ever since, which is interesting because I feel like a lot of bands, you know, they change out members, but we're still going strong, the four of us, somehow.
So
And we
far.
all still like each other, so that's good.
That's perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. So what is the writing process then like for you all? I mean, it seems like you're all just kind of close friends too, so I'm sure that it's a tight-knit process.
Yeah, it varies honestly from like song to song. It can be, you know, us lot. Recently, we just went to a cottage up north, northern England, in the middle of nowhere, and we just wrote loads of music. Or I can just start something on my guitar. Or I have a producer, Simon Ashkoff, who's amazing, and I like to write with him sometimes. So it really is just like anything goes. Whatever creates the best music.
Yeah, that's
Kind of
exactly.
same
Yeah,
thing.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. Yeah.
And I think speaking to like your performances as well, just the difference in venue. Do you typically perform at you think like smaller, more intimate venues when you're back home, or is this like the festival scene kind of newer? Or
Ah, we've done
A lot
all
of
of it,
festivals.
haven't we?
Yeah, we have
Um,
we have done all of it, to be fair.
I can't choose whether I like to play. You know, there's a venue like we did the other night in the city, or a festival stage like this, and I don't know. Like, I love it all, and I'm not sure what we suit the best.
Yeah, they're both so different, and I feel like the performance is different for what venue it is. You know, the smaller shows, it's more intimate and it's more casual in a way. Whereas the festivals, because people are further away, it definitely feels more like a performance. But I love both of them. We just like playing live. So.
Yeah, I think we've got big stages in us. haven't we,
Oh yeah,
performance
definitely get
wise?
us on arenas.
Yeah, we can do that easy.
Yeah.
So speaking of what's next for you, could you walk me through? Are there any releases on the horizon? Any big projects you might want people to be on the lookout for?
So we fly home tomorrow, and a week later we start our UK tour, our UK headline tour, and then we plan on releasing new music not long after that.
Speaking to some of the more like funny questions that I'm sure people would want to know, is there any like fun tour stories or things that you might not have told yet that you, I don't know, think back on and laugh that you would want to share with people?
Don't look at me. I mean, we've done a lot of touring over the years, and if we haven't told anyone anything yet, it's probably for good reason, because like
That's true.
it
We
could
do
be
have
quite
some
embarrassing. You know, I guess. Yeah. Do you have any secrets?
Remember that one time the police pulled up and we thought we were going to get arrested?
Oh,
American.
yeah. That Hugo was running up a wall or something.
It was in Vegas, wasn't it? And we'd all had a few drinks, and Hugo just decided to scale the wall of like a casino or something. Anyway,
And
yeah.
out of nowhere, a police
know.
car turned up. There was no
With
one
the lights
around.
on and everything, and I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
we are getting arrested, we're getting taken to jail, we're going to get sent home, maybe not, maybe we'll stay in jail, I don't know. Anyway, I think we charmed the officer with our British accents, and they let us go.
I
So,
think that was the first time that we came over here, right?
yeah, we were
One
terrified.
of the first tours, and we were only young.
Young
So
and
we were
dumb.
we were just a bit worried, but it was fine.
I mean, that's the best memories anyway.
Yeah.
Within all of your music, something that I really noticed was there's very intentional lyricism. It's very, like, it's almost like very intentional storytelling. Could you walk me through, like, has that been how you've always approached songwriting? Do you think it's like lyrics first, melody second, or is it kind of all this same recipe, I guess?
It varies. I feel like when it comes to writing songs with us, there's no structure. It's whatever comes first and whatever sounds best. But all lyrics, you know, I consider deeply, and I want to tell a story, and I want to take the listener on like a journey. And I like statements, and I like catchy choruses, and I like pop melodies. So it's like trying to merge all of those things into one. Trying to create that happy, sad feeling. Whereas you can cry to it, but you can also dance to it.
Is that kind of your biggest hope for the audience, especially at this festival here?
Yeah, I would say so. I feel like that's a good mix. Make them feel something, but make them have fun.
Yeah, we don't want to upset everyone, make them cry their eyes
No,
out, but at least a
no.
little bit of a heartache and then also a dance.
It's all the best songs, absolutely. Was there anything about your journey that you feel like we didn't discuss that you would want people to know about?
No, just that they should definitely go and listen to Pale Waves.
That's very important.
Yep.
And was there anything that you wanted people at the festival to know about in terms of like your set?
The set will be filled with drama because we love drama, but we also love having fun, so it'll be dramatic and fun.
And we're back and we're talking all things Louis Tomlinson, all things One Direction. So lock in if you're a One Direction fan. We are about to talk about the most embarrassing moments of our childhood One Direction fandom phase and I would say, our adult fandom phase. I don't think you ever outgrow it, but here we are. We're back. I hope you enjoyed the conversation with Pale Waves. I know I certainly did. They were an incredible band to talk to and get to know. And as I said, definitely going to be on my Spotify Wrapped. So really, really great time had by all. But we are here now to talk about Louis. So I think to kick it off, let's go around the table. Everybody's favorite Louis Tomlinson song. And we can start with Amber.
Yeah, I think my favorite is one of his more recent songs, and it's Holding On to Heartache. I think it's just really raw, and what I love about it is how reflective it is. It's Louis taking a look at himself in the mirror and saying, you know what, I feel like I've been carrying all of this with me, and it's become my personality, and it doesn't have to be anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. That is a really good one. And I think, too, like, his artistry definitely is ever expanding. So I think it's really good that I think we have a good mix of our more recent music that we're going to talk about and the older stuff. Georgia, what is your favorite Louis Tomlinson song right now and why?
I would say Saturdays is just like the song starts off like kind of slower and then picks up towards the end with like the instruments and everything. It was really good live, but also like he was like ending the song with that at the festival with like all the fans like shining their lights and then the fireworks going off. So like it was like a whole to do.
Yeah, it was a production. It did not come to play. It was incredible. I also thought it was really cool too when we were in the crowd after we got our photos and things. We were kind of just talking to different fans, and there was this one fan that Amber and I met that was so young. What was she, like 7 maybe? 7 or 8?
I think she
like
was 8, but still just a baby.
It was so cool to see like how Louis' music, and also she was a One Direction fan. And I'm like, One Direction,
Her
like
mom is raising her right.
it's true.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
true. It's so cool to see though, like their music is relatable and exciting for kids that are like 7, 8 years old. I'm like, wow, when I was in 6th grade, like, yeah, that was on my iPod Shuffle, of course. That was my favorite. My favorite Louis song for sure would have to be Two of Us. I know that it's definitely a sadder one, but I think, like I was just talking about, intentional lyricism, if you put your heart on your sleeve, I am 100% all in, and so that song has been my favorite forever. I also just love that album. I think it's so good, and that was my first Louis concert, so kind of biased.
Also to note, Just Hold On has a very similar vibe to that, where it was the time of, you know, his mother was going through her illness, and that was like his message to her, just talking about like intentional lyricism. Louis' songs from happy to sad all talk about exactly what he's feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think too, that's why it's so easy to latch on, because it's like, this is something that I can relate to you because you're telling me your feelings. Like, you're being very open about your emotions and in such a beautiful way. And yeah, knowing he went through such a hard time then, it definitely, you know, has a very somber note when you're listening. But I think that's so important too, because I don't think we talk about grief enough generally, and especially in music. I feel like there's such a need for art that represents grief in all different ways. So yeah, I don't know. Two of Us definitely stuck with me. I think it stuck with a lot of people, but that's going to be my favorite. But to bring us to a more lighter note, let's talk about some One Direction memories. I think it would be really fun if we could all share just a funny little memory from maybe like being a kid and being a One Direction fan. We can start wherever we want to start.
You go first, George.
Do you have a funny One Direction fan childhood memory you want to share with the crowd?
Probably just seeing them live in concert when I was 14. Like, that was my first concert. I saw them at MetLife Stadium, and like I was like thrilled because it was my first show that I was ever going to, and 5 Seconds of Summer were opening at the time, so I was like two of my favorite bands at the time, playing back to back at this big stadium show, and it was just like the nostalgia, I guess you could say. And since we're speaking about him, like I met Louis in 2019 during his like press tour that he was doing to promote, what song was it? We Made It. So that was exciting, but probably those two things.
That's such a casual, like, yeah, probably the two things when I saw One Direction and 5 Seconds of Summer. Like, first of all, I am...
Where We Are tour.
Oh, I thought that was Otra.
No, that was the year after that one. Yeah.
There's so many tours that I wish I went to. I'm going to quickly segue into my childhood One Direction fan memory. When I was a kid, I wanted to go see One Direction so bad. My cousin, growing up, she went to all the different boy band shows. She was obsessed with Hanson, and then at some point, it became One Direction. And she would tell me all these stories. She like met Harry Styles and was like gabbing with him during a concert because she was Barricade. And I'm like, 9, 10? And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. You need to take me tomorrow. Why are you not taking me to these shows? So we made a deal. I was going to save up for my One Direction ticket, and I had this little like specific piggy bank in my room that I labeled One Direction Ticket Fund. And I remember to this day, I was saving every penny, and then they took the hiatus. I broke the jar. And I was like, I guess I'm going to go buy some Littlest Pet Shops because this is no longer going to be of use. All that to say, jealous that you got to see that show.
I know.
That's incredible. And what a sweet memory.
Oh, yeah.
Amber, tell us your One Direction memory.
Just the fandom. Growing up in the One Direction fandom was like a whole different world. The era of Tumblr and Instagram and just One Directioners and the way that they banded together, the fan projects that people would put together. And like, I remember one of my favorite memories is do you remember the song Home? Remember the Project Home, where they raised money, like you can come home, and like it was like a suicide awareness project. And I loved that. I loved being a Directioner. I am a Directioner still, but just that community of a fandom, I will never, ever forget.
Yeah, Absolutely. And speaking of that fandom, I'm going to segue us on over. We got the chance to interview some really excited fans at the Away From Home Festival that got an exclusive meet and greet with Louis. So here is that interview.
You met Louis last night. Y'all met Louis today. Is this your first time meeting him?
Yep.
Yes.
It is?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. First thoughts. Talk me through the process.
Smell good, look good.
Yeah.
He's very soft spoken, I would say.
He's
Yeah.
also very funny, like a little sarcastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I was so starstruck, but it was like it
Yeah.
was kind of like I knew him. It was so weird. I was like,
But it was comfortable too. Like it felt like we knew him. Like he talked to us like we were his friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Yeah,
it was
you
so
know, the
nice.
initial shock. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, this is just Louis.
Yeah,
Louis.
like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, this is Louis. Like
Our friend Louis.
yeah.
Okay. How long have you guys been fans of Louis?
2012.
15 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
X Factor
15
stairs for
years.
real.
Yeah.
Since the X Factor stairs.
It's always been Louis too. Like
Yeah,
even
always been Louis,
yeah.
That's incredible. So you're all just like number one. Louis has been your member this whole time.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Talk to me about why Louis is your favorite member. Is there like any specific songs that you're like, man, that's the one for me?
Every song.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
like,
he's
every song.
it's more like his personality. Like he's
Yeah,
just very
it's
like
his
likable,
personality.
funny. Yeah.
Like who he is like the biggest part of
His
it
voice
for
is a
me.
plus, obviously,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
personality for him a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
Definitely. What was your? Did you know that you were going to have the meet and greet this weekend? When did you find out?
Yeah, they
On
emailed
Friday.
us like Thursday, like
Yeah.
the day before we were coming up here. So it was kind of crying.
Initial reactions.
I dropped my
Screaming,
phone, crying,
yeah.
shaking. Yeah.
mine's kind of funny. I was with them yesterday when they were waiting for the meet and greet, and I seen somebody for today's meet and greet, and he didn't have a +1. So I'm like, I'm coming back tomorrow, and I'm gonna be your +1, and that's what happened. I came back.
Same
I'm
thing
like,
for
hey.
me. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, what are your hopes, I guess, moving forward for the festival? You just met Louis, but you know, there's the set coming up. Anything?
hopefully
We're gonna get-
barricade.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
gonna
trying to
say
get
barricade.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping to hear some new stuff. You
Yeah.
know, like so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Excited to hear
Lemonade,
vlogs.
lemonade for
Too
sure.
good, like,
Yeah. Is there anything about your experience, about like your One Direction days, your love for Louis that you feel like we didn't talk about? You might want to mention.
I feel like I covered it all.
Yeah, I think
he's,
so.
He's just a great person.
Yeah.
in general.
I feel like you meet a lot of great people through him, like being on Twitter. I think.
Oh,
majority
yeah,
of
we
us
all
met
met on
Yeah,
Twitter.
yeah, we all met on
Twitter.
Twitter,
The
yeah.
friendships you make are
Like
through him. You
yeah.
know, like it's so. It's like it's really, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm nowhere near here, but like I come here and I get to see my friends
Yeah.
and Louis at the same time, and it's all because of him.
Caught a flight for all them and Louis. So like
Well, we're back and we're going to wrap it up here. We're going to talk a little bit about our favorite memory from the Away From Home Festival. And then we're going to have to say our goodbyes. We are out of time, unfortunately, but we had the best time. Thank you guys so much for being here to wrap it up with me. It's kind of bittersweet. I had such a great time that weekend. I just want to one more time emphasize how grateful I am for the artists that gave us their time so graciously that weekend, especially with it being such a jam-packed just a few days with all of these artists on the lineup. So thank you so much to Pale Waves. Thank you so much to Dirty Blonde. Thank you, Plain White Tees. Thank you to the bands that talked to us. We had a great time. My favorite memory, honestly, was just spending the whole weekend with Amber and Georgia. I think we had a great time, and it was really nice to be able to get back in the music coverage scene. This is one of my favorite areas of interest, so I'm having a great time on Local Static, and I'm really grateful that I get to do it with some incredible coworkers. But thank you guys so much again. And if you want to just go around the table, I guess one more time, tell me your favorite memory from the weekend, and we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah, I mean, other than getting to hang out with you guys, I think my favorite memory was when Louis came on stage with Steve Aoki, because I've been waiting for that moment since Just Hold On came out years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What a great moment. And the cake.
Oh,
We can't forget the cake.
I stopped breathing.
Georgia, what about you?
I think the festival overall was amazing. Just seeing like the fans' reactions to all the bands, and then interviewing the bands and hearing a great variety of live music the whole weekend. Like the whole atmosphere was great over the course of the 2 days. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for tuning into Local Static this week. We had the best time in Cooperstown. I'm grateful that you were along for the ride to hear all about it. Please stay tuned for next week when we'll have more artist features on the lineup. And this was Local Static.